In today's video, I bought a school store in my city Los Angeles, complete with a stationery shop and a uniform tailors, just in time for the Bloxburg school update. Hey glossettes, welcome back. How are you guys doing today? Now we are back in my city building series Los Angeles to add another build to the kind of plot today, and we are actually building over here near the front because we are going to be using this unit down here to build a school store. Now, as we all know, Bloxburg is actually adding a school soon, so I thought this would be pretty fitting to kind of make a store for the school. I've even made my own uniform here using the school's kind of logo colors, so I actually made this. But yeah, pretty much we are going to be building a school store, and what I actually mean by a school store is like a uniform shop, some stationery, school shoes, kind of just like school supplies. As you can already see, I have already done a little bit of work on the layout, so what I'm gonna do is show you the footage of that, and then we are gonna get started actually kind of decorating this thing. So this is what the unit kind of started off looking like. I actually plan to use this for something else, but I can't remember what it was meant to be. I think maybe a cafe, but because of the school update, I decided to kind of repurpose it because I really wanted kind of like a school store, so I just kind of moved things around. I ended up adding this kind of back changing rooms area for the kind of uniform shop section. So I just kind of added like the walls of the changing room and stuff. I added some kind of basic shapes marking out where shelves and stuff would go, and then I added some windows, and that was kind of it. I was just trying to work out where everything should kind of fit. The most I did was on the changing rooms. So this is pretty much where we're at, and I do have a couple of kind of like definite ideas. So the first one is this wall here. I want this to be kind of like the stationery area, and I want this to be very kind of random. There's this image I found on Pinterest the other day, and I don't know what it was about it, but I just love how these shelves are kind of like not just a neat row of shelves. It kind of looks pretty cool. Now, if you watched my original Los Angeles series, you'll probably remember that I actually made a stationery store called Gliggle. It was kind of like a rip-off of Smiggle, but I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I really wanted to build kind of like a new version of that in Los Angeles, which is where the school stores came from, because the original Gliggle build used so many details and like structurals and very small parts, because I was so insistent on kind of like adding a lot of actual individual parts. And as you can probably guess, it caused absolute havoc on the plot data. So I was like, okay, I can't do that because I know I want to add a bunch of detail and I know I can't. So then I thought, why don't I combine it with a kind of like uniform shop, because then the kind of stationery, the Gliggle part of it is going to be a lot smaller and less detailed. So that's kind of what we're going for. This is going to be like a mini Gliggle area, and then this is going to be the uniform. So we're going to have some like mannequins and stuff. But one idea I was thinking was, can anyone remember those kind of like old Roblox clothing stores, like the home stores where they had like the pictures of the clothes on the wall and you could click on them? So I was thinking we could do that with decals, but even if the decals look really bad, we could actually just make these out of basic shapes too. But because it would be flat, kind of like the 2D clothing, I think this would be pretty easy to do. But that's kind of all of the ideas I have. This is where we're up to. I have no idea where to start. I'm kind of slowly starting with the shelves, but I think what I'm going to do quickly is just place down everything I can actually put on the shelves so I can kind of visualize what we actually need to make room for. So we have like rulers, markers. I really wish they'd add, oh my gosh, wait, we're getting a school update, aren't we? Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be building this, but do we think they're gonna add like more stationery, like maybe packs of markers and stuff? Because we have this individual marker, but it's open. Surely they're gonna give us like some cute school supplies. I know we're obviously getting items as well. I feel like we're gonna end up with so much kind of cute stuff in build mode, but we already do have a decent amount of stationery, to be fair. See, this is one of the things, the main thing that I used in the original Gliggle. It was this mascara tube, because it actually looks like a marker. So I had like hundreds of them, because I would have a pot of like all the individual colors, and then the individual colors would be like 40 of them per pot, and it just caused absolute havoc. I'm sure you can imagine the lag when we walked into that place. So for the shelves, I actually decided to kind of sit up and draw a design. So I kind of marked out where the shelves were gonna go. I really wanted them to kind of be like randomly placed, as well as some hooks for like bags. And then I also just kind of worked out where I'd add some posters, and then I went into the game and actually made these. So obviously the shelves are just made out of basic shapes, so I kind of added all the big ones first, then the little ones, and then I moved on to kind of adding some hooks and some other things. I then added briefcases on the hooks, which I obviously added on a basic shape to kind of transform. Then I added the posters, but that was kind of it for the start of the shelves. So I've been slowly piecing together where some things should go, but we're actually going to focus on this area for now. More specifically, we're going to add kind of like a really cute notebook display, and then also these cups here are going to be full of like different colored kind of markers and stuff. So we're going to start and just very slowly go through to each section. Also, I'm not going to keep these books. These are kind of just placeholders. We're going to go for more kind of plain books. Oh, I wish we could resize this bookend. This would be perfect for a little kind of stand thing. Anyways, how are you all doing? I actually have something I wanted to talk about because it's kind of confused me. So YouTube recently added this new feature, which some of you may have seen because I keep getting comments from you guys being like, oh, remember to hype Glossie's video because YouTube has just released a hype feature and I don't have it yet. I'm pretty sure it's still in beta and they're only rolling it out to like a few people at a time. I'm not too sure, but it's basically a feature. I honestly don't really know how it works because like I said, I don't have it yet. I can't look at it properly, but you can hype people's videos and I think it just kind of like gives them points, and the more people hype your video, the more they kind of boost it more on YouTube or something. So you guys keep saying like, apparently the feature is like near the comments or like when you like the video or something. But the thing I'm annoyed about is I want to see it. I can't actually see the feature yet. And it's not even that I'm like looking on my YouTube channel at my own videos. Like in general, I've been on my alt account. I've looked at other people's videos. I can't hype anything and I feel like I'm missing out. But it does seem like a pretty cool feature. I honestly really like the kind of idea of it from what I've seen of it. However, one YouTube feature that I don't like is whatever they've done to my community tab. So you know how YouTube channels have like a post tab where YouTubers can kind of like put like little posts and pictures and stuff, but they recently changed it so that like you guys can also write stuff on it. But the thing is, I can't actually see what you guys are writing. So basically in like YouTube Studio, I can see a few of the posts, but they're never in like chronological order. They just kind of randomly show me a couple of posts that people are putting on there. I can't actually see it on my channel, and I'm gonna be so real, I have no idea where you guys are writing that stuff. I don't know how to see it properly. Like when I go into it on my studio, it doesn't give me an option to like respond to anything. And when I go on my own page, I don't know where you guys are putting it. Like where do you go to type it? I genuinely have no idea. Let me show you what I see. Like look, if I go to my kind of post section, all I see is the ones I put on there. Like I don't know where you guys are putting stuff. But yeah, I just don't really like the feature. I don't like the fact that I can't see it. Anyways, another video project that I really want to do and I've wanted to do for years is I actually really want to build my own school. Obviously we have one coming out into the game, which is going to be so exciting. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. I think it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited for the update. I'm really excited for the activity it's going to bring. However, at one point I really want to build my own because for years I've kind of had the idea of making one, but then all of the classes, well no, some of the classes can be normal, but I want to have a lot of classes that I kind of made up and kind of maybe like glossy related. Like I really wanted to do like a science classroom, but it was kind of like the chemistry of lip gloss and you can like make your own lip gloss and everything. I want like a fashion classroom. I know that's kind of more of a basic one, but I thought that would be really cool. Like I want to do more unique classes than the kind of basic ones you normally see. So I think I'll probably do that next year. We're entering the kind of period of the year where most of my content is going to start being seasonal. Not all of it, because I'm going to try and keep some of it kind of more neutral this time, because the thing that happens is, for example, Christmas, I post every single day, actually multiple times a day in December, and it's all normally Christmas related or Christmas update related with the elf hunt. And what happens is it hits January 1st and my views plummet because all of the content I've worked on for the past month is now irrelevant because it's not Christmas time anymore, and it's so bad. So I need to start, you know, some of my Christmas Glossmas videos being more neutral so people will actually watch them after December 25th. But honestly, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Halloween. I actually have a really cool Halloween thing I'm trying to work on. I don't actually know if I'm gonna get around to all of it. Basically, I want to recreate this certain kind of movie, but the plan is for me to kind of like build the set and then post the set as a separate video, and then later on I will actually recreate it and then I'll post that. But I don't know if I'm gonna get around to the recreation part this year. It might have to be next year. I'm trying to do it though. Okay, so I've done a lot of the books kind of on this shelf, and I'm pretty much gonna do the same thing down here, and then I'm just gonna add some little decorations onto some of them. I think I might actually just add a structural and make it look like a school book, but this is kind of gonna be the bookshelf. I might have some like packets of paper at the bottom as well, but what we're gonna do now is these cups quickly. I'm kind of scared for these ones purely because of the plot data, because obviously what I was saying earlier is the thing that kind of caused the most issues was when I stupidly had like a bunch of kind of pots full of pens. And what am I doing? I'm adding a bunch of pots full of pens because I don't learn a lesson. I never learn any lessons, okay? One thing I will never do is learn from my building mistakes, ever. So we are gonna basically add some kind of rainbow pens, so each kind of cup is gonna be one color, but I'm gonna try and keep it kind of minimal to how many pens I actually have in there, as to not completely destroy the data. I also have no idea what we're gonna do on the outside. I haven't even mentioned that. So this is obviously gonna have like the uniforms in the display window, but I really want to have like a cool sign, very much like how the nail salon has like this one. Honestly, this build is still my favorite build of all time. I cannot get over how good this video was, but yeah, this one has a cool sign. We also have the gloss styles cool sign from the hair salon video. So this is kind of what we're going for. We might have like a giant pencil or something. Honestly, I'm not too sure yet, but we will do the outside I think towards the end, because I actually need the inside done for a video that I meant to post on Friday, which I haven't even started yet. So I kind of have to prioritize getting this done first because I need it as kind of like a set. But yeah, what I'm going to keep doing is just kind of slowly adding all the pens in the pots. And obviously how I'm doing this is I've got them placed on a tiny little basic shape, which I can then transform and kind of add them in. But I'm just going to kind of finish off all of these and then maybe kind of finish off a bunch on the shelves. So I will see you guys in a few seconds. I feel like there's so much time lapsing in this video, but I actually started to move on to the uniform area. I was trying to work out if I could do kind of like the old Roblox home store kind of flat clothing, but it honestly wasn't looking good. So I moved on to trying to make a mannequin at the front of the window. Now I usually kind of use like spheres for this, but I wanted it to be pretty neat. So I actually just kind of use like basic shaped squares in cylinders. So it was kind of a less realistic shape, but I think it looked pretty good. I added a sphere around the neckline to kind of have like a v-neck jumper and then a dirt underneath. And then I added a tie with structurals. And then I also made this shelf where I was actually making kind of like folded up clothes. So I just used basic shapes to kind of piece together like a jumper and a shirt. And then I also did some pants and then kind of like skirts hanging on a railing. So I did a lot of work on the clothes. I really like how this uniform area kind of looks. This looks a lot better than I thought it would. I think the favorite is my shirts. These actually look pretty good. But what we're gonna do now is kind of like finishing this area, and I want to have some more shelves here for like school shoes and stuff, but I also want to have like a display for like ties and things as well. As for this big round thing, what I was thinking for this kind of area was like, okay, wait, this is tiny. Wait, I swear there's a bigger one. Hang on a minute. Why can't I find it? I swear there's like a bigger version of this. Unless I'm like losing my mind. Well, I can't find it anywhere. But basically, I thought there was like a bigger version of this, which was closer in size to the basic shape I had. And I wanted to have it here so that they can kind of like sit and like try on the uniform and the shoes. And then we're going to have a mirror on this wall. Honestly, we could have this anyways. Maybe I could just have like two. But let me just quickly add the mirror onto the wall. Here we go. This looks pretty good. Maybe we have one of these here anyways, so people can kind of like stand on it and get like the uniform like pinned on them and stuff. I don't know. I do want to use these as shoe boxes though. These are like these little plastic storage containers, and if you resize them, they look pretty good for kind of shoe boxes. It's honestly just kind of a mess in here. I also don't know how much of this to kind of follow the Bloxburg school colors for, because I had orange curtains, but I kind of want to have pink just to kind of tie in the rest of the build a bit more, so it's still very kind of Los Angeles. I also need some curtains over here, but then I don't like them over here. Like, this build is stressing me out. The color scheme is really driving me crazy. Anyways, we are gonna work on the shoe shelf quickly. I'm not looking forward to building actual shoes, but okay, basically I don't think I've actually said the video in this video yet, but the reason I want this done in like the video I kind of want to do it for, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned, is I'm doing a get ready with me for school, like kind of short, like get ready with me for like the first day of Bloxburg High School, and I obviously need this build for it because I'm extra and I want to have like the school store in it, so I have to get it done because I need to post it on Friday. It's currently Wednesday, so this is basically a challenge on seeing how fast I can actually build. And you know, coming from the girl who posts videos 2 weeks late constantly, it's not looking good, okay? I'm gonna have a couple shelves of boxes, and then I want to kind of have like a display of shoes at one point in the middle, or maybe we put the ties over here as well, because I feel like it would kind of add in the orange over here. What I could do is down the middle for kind of like seating, I could have the fancy bench, because I feel like this kind of matches. We could have this down the middle to kind of separate the room a bit more. Also, I am going to add more stuff to the mannequins. I was going to kind of put like a skirt on one of them. Do I put like a little kind of fence in the middle? And then it also gives us kind of like a place to put the seating without it looking too awkward, instead of just having kind of like this big empty room. Here we go. It kind of looks like it's got more purpose now. Maybe I could even do like maybe something all the way to the ceiling. Does this look kind of cute? Like if I do this, it's kind of reminding me of like the seating at Clark's, and Clark's is a basically it's the shop in the UK where everyone gets their school shoes from. I remember when I was younger, everyone used to have the, can you remember the ones? I think these were just in England, but we used to have these shoes at school that actually had little toys inside. So you'd lift up the sole and then they'd have like this little trap door, and then you get a little like toy, and it was so cute. And I used to hide, like, I remember when we used to kind of make daisy chains on the field in summer, I used to hide them inside the little like pin bit in my shoe. Also, I'm gonna add stuff to the slippers in a little bit, but that's just kind of marking where the school shoes are gonna go. So my recording actually cut out, but the next thing I was doing was I was adding mirrors to all the changing rooms and kind of like seats, and then a rail to kind of hang the clothes you're trying on. I also made all the tie displays, and I added some socks and some hats and things, which you'll see a bit later, but then I moved on to the actual counter itself. And for this, the idea was to make the top bit a ruler, kind of like the old gliggle counter, and then the bottom was like this kind of sheet of paper. I kind of made like the kind of lined school paper. I also added some little ruler details onto the table, and that was kind of it that I got on camera. I've done quite a bit of work. I feel like I've kind of got carried away off camera, but it's looking so good. And I was actually looking in my Roblox decals to see if I could find the old Gliggle logo, and I did find it. And I've just realized how absolutely awful this thing is. Like, if you look, I basically just wrote Gliggle in a pencil texture. Like, what on earth is this? It was the most low effort logo I've ever done, but it was meant to look like a scribble on the paper. Let me see if I can resize it if it actually looks good. It kind of looks terrible. Okay, I think I'll end up making a new Gliggle logo. I also decided that the kind of tailor school uniform kind of store is gonna be called bloxbobbin's tailoring, because obviously a bobbin is like a thread thing on like a sewing machine, so I thought it was kind of cute. So we're gonna have both like kind of Gliggle and bloxbobbin tailoring kind of on the sign. But pretty much all we have to do now is the outside. I do have a few other details to do in here, but I'll probably do that off camera because it's like decals and kind of things. But we need to sort out how on earth this is gonna look. I also need to finish off the mannequins from the window side because I kind of like did the skirt halfway and then stopped. But we are going to work on the outside. I do have like half of a pencil made. I don't know what color scheme to go with. I made it wood because I was like, maybe I could kind of go similar to the Bow Bakery, but honestly I have no idea. I think I'm just going to work on the sign first. I'm going to steal this kind of like shape from the nail salon because I think it fits kind of above this perfectly as a base to kind of add a sign on, but we're just going to see how this goes. I'm going to be so honest, I feel so sick right now, and I don't mean sick as in like I have like a cold or anything. I mean sick because I ate 2 bowls of Craves for breakfast, which I don't think anyone can blame me for because Craves are the most elite cereal ever. I love them so much, but I rarely ever have them because I'm so addicted to them. I just like eat loads of bowls. Like I had 3 bowls of them yesterday, which is so bad. But if you think that's bad, honestly, I've done worse. There was a time, basically, I go through like hyperfixations of food. Like I constantly do it because obviously I'm autistic, so it's kind of like quite a common thing for me to get fixated on certain foods and then hate them a few weeks later. And every 6 months or so, I'm trying to find a door. I can't find a door, by the way. I do it with Cheerios. I get hyperfixated on Cheerios. There was a time when I ate 5 bowls of Cheerios in a day, and then I'll suddenly hate them. But I started realizing a while ago that it's not that I hate them, it's that they taste different depending on what I ate before I ate them. And what I mean by this is if I don't eat anything before I eat Cheerios, they taste really nice and like sweet and crunchy. But if I do eat something before I eat Cheerios, especially if it's like sugar or something, then they suddenly taste really bitter and horrible because obviously Cheerios do have sugar in them, but they don't have as much sugar in them as, for example, like a chocolate bar or something. So they taste really sugary on their own, but if I had like chocolate before I ate Cheerios, they suddenly would not taste that nice. And yeah, it kind of ruined it for me. I kind of like strategically, if I have Cheerios, I will now plan around whatever I've ate before so I can like have them taste nice. Honestly, I think I might keep the wood. I was gonna have maybe pink on the outside as per usual, but I do think I need some diversity in the town. And also, if it was pink, it would clash with the Gliggle sign. Obviously, we have 2 color schemes in here, so that means there's gonna be 2 color schemes on the sign, and I think it would stand out a lot better if it was like this. Also, this looks kind of cute. What I'm going to attempt to build is like kind of like a thread type thing. We do actually have a bobbin table, a wooden spool table, which, oh my god, it's not even that big. If I could rotate that, that would be so perfect to like add on the sign. Oh my god, wait, I could use this as a decoration because I was thinking I kind of need a table for like, you know, the person tailoring the clothes, so they can have like their tape measure and stuff on here. Like if we have this here and then you can like stand on here and they can pin your clothes, I don't know. But I'm gonna try and make like a flat version of it for the sign, which should be kind of difficult. Okay, let me lock in here. So I'm thinking for the thread, we either do the kind of orange on the school logo or maybe the blue, or we just do pink. But I've kind of made like the little bobbin thing. I need to finish off this pencil. What I originally made it for was, you know, the counter in here. So obviously the counter is like a ruler and then this bit is paper, but this was originally going to be like loads of pencils lined up. But then I realized for a build that's meant to be low plot data, it would really just kind of add to the plot data. However, my motto for the plot data data seems to be at the moment that I'll just deal with it as a later date, but I know I'm gonna absolutely hate myself for it when I actually have to deal with it and I have to go back through all the builds and kind of delete things. Okay, I'm gonna add like a little kind of bit of the pencil on the top of the point, but this is kind of like the pencil shape. I just want to see how big it is compared to the stuff on here. This is kind of cute. Wait, I feel like this looks really cute. Okay, I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna finish off the logo and kind of finish off like the kind of text sign and everything and just try and get as much of the outside done as possible. And then honestly, we might pretty much be done except some like minor details in here. So I think this might be it until the final tour. I'm not too sure. I just really want to get this finished because as I said a million times, I need it for the other video I'm doing. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this off and then I will see you guys for the final tour. This video has went far too quickly because I've been so locked in. So the build is all finished. I've actually done a lot of work on this and I'm gonna show you guys the final tour. I do feel like you didn't see a lot of the building process for this because I obviously rushed it so much to be able to include it in the get ready with me video, which obviously I posted with a bunch of other creators, so that is already up, but I had to kind of rush. So I'm sorry if this was a bit of a confusing video, but this is actually what it looks like. I love it so much. I love how it's kind of like two sides, two different stores. I added some like lampposts and kind of wood detail. We have the brand new gliggle logo on the window and some lovely plants, and this is actually what it looks like. So I kind of took inspiration from the original logo and made it kind of like a little scribble, and then I have some of my emojis around, which I'm actually going to be selling as stickers very soon. We also have bloxbobbin tailoring, which is actually the cutest name I've ever seen. I really need to go through like all of my businesses in Bloxburg, but we have the logo. I actually added the thread kind of going around the pencil, which is adorable, and this is just kind of what it looks like. We have the uniform in the window. This is the outside all complete. I am actually so happy with it, but we're gonna head inside and here we go. We're gonna start with the gliggle side. So this is the counter area. I kept it pretty basic, but I think it looks pretty good. So we have this, we have all of our lovely stationery. I wasn't very creative for the posters. This one just has pencil case written on it. I didn't really know what to do, but we have the stationery, very pink, and then obviously we go over to the tailoring side and it's a completely different color scheme, but I actually really like it. So I have the finished mannequins, all of the school supplies. We have kind of like the dress area where they kind of get your uniform ready. We have all of this. I really wish we could like recolor this hat, but this honestly looks adorable. This is kind of like the main shop area. I'm really happy with it. I feel like this is a bit too bright, but I think this looks pretty good, and I think I did a kind of okay job in trying to keep the detail a bit less detailed than usual to, you know, save the plot data. But we also have the changing rooms in here, which I kind of recolored to wood, which also is just very simple. But that is pretty much it. It's a pretty small build, but I'm so happy with it, honestly. I love the custom uniforms. I'm so happy with this area the most. Also, I added kind of like the school books looking like the very British ones. So if you're British, you probably had these exact same books like I did. But yeah, I'm just so happy with how this has turned out. I love the outside. It was such a fun build to do. It's actually kind of motivated me a bit more to do more Los Angeles. Obviously I am anyways. I'm not going to stop the series, but I just kind of, I'm more excited for it now. But that's pretty much it. Super cute. Let me know what you guys think down below. But that is pretty much it for today's video. I am so excited for the school. And if you're also excited for the school, obviously subscribe because I report on every single leak we have for it. I have a feeling we'll probably get more soon. But anyways, as usual, a huge shout out to all my channel members, Alicia, Comey, Peach, Milton, Ari, and Matty. Thank you so much for joining the channel. I love you all. And of course, we have all my Nitro boosters, Milton, Piper, Alexia, Carlos, Denver, Gamer TV, Ari, Imi, Groz, Peachly, Regain Riot, Scala, and Potato. Thank you so much for boosting the server. Then finally, we have all of my merch buyers from back in February. Thank you so much for buying the merch drop. Hopefully, I am actually going to have one very soon. But anyways, I love you all. And in general, I love you all so much, glossettes. XOXO, Glossy Girl.